At the close of Black History Month, the Philly Luv Project celebrates Hakim Hopkins. Philly, you may not recognize the name, but you will recognize his brand. Hakim is the owner of Black and Nobel, yes. Black and Nobel, the bookstore that thrived on the corner of Broad and Erie Avenue for years. Black and Nobel was once said to be the only positive thing on Erie Avenue. Black and Nobel also helped promote up-and-coming hip-hop artists like the LOCS and Meek by promoting their early books and mixtapes. Today, thanks to the creation of the pop-up store, Black and Nobel is back up and thriving. Hakim, here at the Philly Luv Project, we thank you and we salute you for all you have done for our community. Visit Black and Nobel online at www.blackandnobel.com or visit them at a pop-up store.
Tell us, a little bit more about your story, about how you got started from the beginning of what made you get into this whole process.
I was going through some difficult times in life, and I went to a program at Temple University called New Choices, New Options, where they help people get their life together. And when I went to this program, they offered different grants and stuff for people to start businesses or get apartments, vouchers for a place to stay. I was kind of like on the edge of getting back on my feet by going to this program.
Right.
And I met a young lady there. Her name was Venus. Big up to Venus. And she used to always bring me books, like to the place that we did the program called New Choices, New Options. She used to always just bring random books to give me, and I would go home and read them.
Right.
And then one day I was reading a book. I think it was the ISIS paper or one of those type of books. And as I was reading it, I was falling in love with reading. I always read, but as I read it, I was like, one day I want to start selling books.
Right.
So at the end of the program, I asked them to get me a vending license versus an apartment and all this other stuff, and I started selling
vending
books.
license versus an apartment.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was staying with my aunt, and the vouchers weren't but for so much. It wasn't like they paid for your apartment. They just got you in there, and then you have to maintain it.
Right.
So I wasn't really worried about having my own apartment. I had just kind of let a house go at that time.
So basically, you got into the bookstore instead of that's big right there. You said I'm gonna go towards the path of the bookstore, which
it wasn't
was
a
a
store.
great path.
It wasn't a store. It was just one of the things I wanted to do as a vendor.
Okay.
I always hustled. I always sold stuff.
Right.
So I was like, let me try to start selling books. And the first day I sold like 40 of them.
Man, you should have been selling. Anyway,
Yeah.
you sold, you sold 40 books on the first day.
Yeah.
Well,
So
man,
I never looked back since that day because I realized it was such a need. It was kind of crazy because I didn't really think books would sell like that. So the first day was amazing, and we just started going hard ever since then. Like every day at the bus stop on. Everybody thinks we started at Broad and Erie.
That's when I've been at Broad and Erie, right?
Yeah, but originally we started on 52nd Street.
52nd and what, Market?
Yeah.
Because I'm around. Okay.
Yeah,
So
right
you was at
in front of
52nd, okay.
Yahuru's Caribbean store.
Oh, okay.
Restaurant.
So it started right there, and then you went to.
Then we went
Broad.
to 15th Street, 15th and Market at the clothespin.
Right.
And before then, we was just moving around, like on the train and stuff. So we ended up going to Broad and Erie.
This is a movie. This is a full-fledged movie right here. To all this right here, you started out like that, selling. You said you had a decision on getting an apartment or getting some books. You got books, right?
Yeah.
I would have got the apartment. That's me. But you went. And
Most people,
I would have got the apartment
because I was going through things in my life. I didn't even want to be like alone.
But you made the right
So
decision.
I was like kind of not wanting to like make a dedication to a lease and stuff.
Okay,
like that.
okay.
I was moving around. I was working.
You was working, hustling. You was hustling.
Yeah,
You was hustling basically, and you
I only
you made the
use
right
I
path.
only use my place to stay for sleep, and that's it. So
Okay.
at that moment, I wasn't really in need of a home.
Right.
That's not why I went to the program. I went to the program to get my mind together.
Okay.
And they helped me. It was only like 6 weeks. Big up to Dr. Malone and all those guys that helped over there. It's not even there anymore.
Right.
It was in the Leo Sullivan building at Broad and Jefferson.
Okay.
Right by the Y.
I know you're talking about Broad Jefferson. I know what Broad Jefferson.
So anyway, after that program, we ended up finding ourselves on Erie Avenue, and that's when we made it home because when I first moved around there with the tables, they told me I couldn't set up there because there were other vendors there for years. And
Broad and Erie? You talking about Broad and Erie? They told you couldn't set up?
Yeah, the guys does like work around there and live around there.
You was the competition coming in. They's like, you can't
Not
set up
even
no
that,
tape.
they just didn't know me.
Okay.
I wasn't competition because I'm selling books. Well, nobody else selling books.
That's true. That's true.
You know
That's
what I'm
true.
saying?
That's true.
So they was like, who's this and that,
Right.
Because I'm not from Erie Avenue.
Right,
so,
right.
Well, I am now at this point.
Yeah.
But it was just like in the beginning rough where people was like, what's this? What's, they ain't know how to take it. So somebody called LNI on me. I don't know who. So they
called
ended
LNI
up,
when you try to get you up out of there?
yeah, so they ended
Wow.
up telling me I had to move.
Wow.
And then during that process, it was a lady named Miss Brenda that was buying like spiritual books from me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, let me ask her, because she owned a flower store right there on the bus stop. Mm-hmm. So I asked her, I told her that Ellen, told us we had to leave because we weren't like permanent vendors there. And I was like, do you think we could set up in front of your store? And she just kind of like went into all these hallelujah and all this other stuff. It was crazy.
She let you set up in front of her store?
She was excited.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
She went into like a whole prayer over it, over me even asking.
Apparently it worked. Because look where we at now.
Yeah, it really did because she let me set up there for like, I was there for 2 years,
I need
maybe
to get her to
3.
pray for my comedy career. Mm-hmm. She still there?
No.
Okay. Well, go ahead. She was there for 2
Yeah,
years?
she let us set up there for a couple years, never asked me for no money, none of that. I used to just have to deliver flowers to funerals on Saturday. And she would just let me set up there. So basically, I had a whole setup rent-free for a couple years.
This is exclusive. Y'all, this stuff people don't even know.
Yeah, I don't
This the
even-
Philly Luv
I don't
Project.
think
People
I
know
ever-
he wasn't paying rent for how long?
Well, no, I was
This is exclusive.
a vendor. So
Okay,
a vendor
okay.
doesn't pay rent anyway.
Okay.
Outside vendors.
Well,
If
shoot,
you see
on
guys-
52nd Street, they made all of them move out of the way at one time. All them vendors was out there without, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They swept them out of there for a minute.
It's not a lot of vendors in the city of Philadelphia that's black anyway.
That is true.
It's a lot of foreign.
That is true. That is true.
Because black people don't go to the things that they provide. Like when I used to go to the auctions and stuff for the city,
Right.
it'd be like 5 of us in there with hundreds of other people. So a lot of times we keep trying to blame people, but we don't do
We're not in the
research
building. We're not in the building to get it.
because we too busy doing other things,
right?
entertaining each other.
And they in there getting the money.
Getting to the
Getting to the money.
information.
Getting the information,
Information
getting
is
to
the
the money.
money.
Right.
If you're willing to go get it, but I think that after the first couple years of us selling books, we made an impact because I used to do every event, every festival.
Right.
You name it, from a Doom Day, Unity Day, Jazz Day, I was at every event.
Right.
As we had our table and stand on the bus stop, I already started saying to people I would tell them to come over to my office on Erie Avenue.
Right.
And then when they would get there, it'd be the bus stop. So, that was kind of like my way of putting it in the universe.
Right.
That I had a building or an office at least.
Right.
I didn't, so it would be funny because people come around. We have meetings right there on the block.
Right.
They bring me books, boxes of books. And then it turned into the opportunity where one of the stores became available. And from me stacking up for the couple years I was there, I was able to get the store.
So now you saying you got the one on Broad, then you got the one on Broad and Erie.
The first store was small.
Right.
Yeah, really, really small store.
And then the one on Broad and Erie.
Yeah.
That
The
was the
one
second-
on Broad and Erie, I had 2 stores on Broad and Erie.
Right.
The first one, there's 3 really, because the stand was the flower store.
Okay.
So I didn't only just have my tables out in front of the flower store. I used to work at the flower store.
Right.
So
wow.
just being out there in front of the flower store for a couple years, I was able to stack some money up, and I got the building, the little small one. And I had the build. I was renting the building 9 months before we even opened. So every day I would tell people, yeah, we got the building right here. We're gonna have the grand opening soon. So all the people that supported me all those years, they actually was happy to see us kind of like get a building right there where I started.
Right.
So the first day, man, I don't know. The grand opening after promoting for 9 months, we did so many thousands of dollars on the first day because everybody knew us for years. So they was proud that we had a store. And from there it was curtains. Here we are today.
This is like very inspirational to everybody.
Thank you.
Because you're a man that started out making a decision on on chilling in the house or getting these books. You
Right.
decided to get those books, and you went that direction, and then it grew from those selling those books on that day, getting the first spot, to getting the next one, then the next one, and then like this whole situation here. That's very inspirational for people that's trying to do what they need to do. You know what I'm saying? Like you're like Master P did that with with CDs. He had a decision on buying some, not CDs, back then it was tapes. Buying these tapes or taking the $8,000 he had to buy some weed. And he said, I'm not gonna sell the weed. I can make that money. I'm gonna sell these tapes. And then it went from there. And your path is the same way, except for with books, which is crazy.
Well, that was then.
Right.
I don't sell a whole lot of books now.
I was going to say, we're here and you got everything up in here.
No,
You
there's
got
books here, but the whole thing is, at one point, I had $500,000 worth of books inside of my store on there.
$500,000 worth of books in the store?
Yeah, it was nothing. Like, because I distributed books for authors.
Okay.
This is pre-iPhone, so people read more.
Right.
It was books. It was over 300 bookstores in the whole nation, and now it's maybe like 50.
Yeah.
So this was a whole different time for us, and I appreciate the time because the time that we spent cultivating the urban fiction books, because that's how I kind of got popular by encouraging like entertainers and rappers to write books. We were instrumental in putting Meek Mill's book out. With G Street Chronicles, G Street Publishing, excuse me, it's 2 G Streets, excuse me, Shauna. So not G Street Chronicles, but G Street Publishing. And it was really cool because, they wanted to do like a movie, but Meek got into some trouble and he had to go back to jail.
Right.
I think Queen Latifah was going to be putting some money, like $10 million behind it for the movie Tony's Story.
Okay.
So somehow, some way, the book got created and we were distributing it. Okay. So it was a good look.
Yeah, good look.
Thank you, Meek.
Yeah.
And James. I appreciate that opportunity back then, but that's what we became known for, helping out the rappers.
Yeah, I noticed that you got like all the rappers come to your situation. I see you help out. I mean, I see you help out a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but we started becoming known with the rappers because I used to let them have rap battles.
So rap battles be in your thing, right?
So it was more than a bookstore. It was more of a place to hang out.
Yeah.
So that's what we became known for. And when they used to have events, I used to never check nobody. I used to have.
You didn't check nobody coming in?
Nah. We didn't really worry about it on Erie Avenue because it was on the second floor. So if anything happened down up here, you got to get off.
You got to get off. Yeah.
And you're not getting off messing with us.
No.
So it was okay, and
Right.
everybody knew
Right.
from other places you don't mess around with the bookstore
That's true.
because it was like sacred.
Yeah, I
ground.
noticed that. Ain't nothing really
It
ever
was-
happened
yeah.
at the bookstore.
We had situations, but I'm just saying.
Not like how, like I'm from West Philly,
Yeah.
Raw, and it's situations like all the time. I've never really heard any real bad publicity about that.
There's some
situation.
things that happen.
Of
but
course,
it
there's
was
always gonna be
kept.
some
It
things
was
that
kept
happen.
on the ground
Right,
because we're
right.
such a positive influence.
Positive input. Look, but we're gonna move forward. This place where we're at right now, right? What's the address? What's the address?
2329 Cotman Avenue.
I can make a mistake on the address.
2329 Cotman Avenue. We're inside of the Roosevelt Mall.
Right.
Right next door to
Sure,
beautiful hair store and Models.
Yes.
We are very excited for these opportunities to be in prime locations.
Right.
We've been in the hood for years, helping the community. The community actually comes down and see us. So thank you very much, everybody that
You in a
follows
prime
us.
location right here.
Yeah,
This
well,
is
that's
a
the whole
prime
point
location
of the
right
pop-up stores
Right.
is to have prime location.
This is the location right here.
Black home too.
Black
so,
home. This is
you
black
know,
home. But look.